Hey, I'm Kat. I'm the owner and founder of Oxygen Coaching Group. We're a group of coaches and trainers working with organizations and executives trying to improve a number of aspects in their business. Okay, so I was a little leery of starting to do services on my LinkedIn page. However, I said I would do a 2-week review and a 4-week review when I reactivated my premium subscription on LinkedIn, and we're sitting at 2 weeks. So I have an update for everyone. I had done a little bit of research on this services component. For those of you who have done our LinkedIn training, you know that I have a love-hate relationship with my LinkedIn premium subscription, but the services aspect was a little bit harder for me to do some research on because people weren't always on the same page as I was in terms of the path that we take to do proposals. I'm a huge advocate of not diluting the market and not always putting together proposals every time I asked. We want to make sure that you're a good fit for us before we put a proposal together so that it's a little bit more customized. We have a little bit more of a boutique feel unless you take some of our online classes. So I wasn't sure that this was going to work for us, but I went ahead and invested the money on a monthly basis since you can't do the 30 days free on LinkedIn Premium anymore, and decided that I would spend some money to make some money potentially. All right, so we've been doing it for 2 weeks. I do have my services page set up, and I have a few, positives and negatives of it. So first of all, they are very broad categories. So depending on what kind of work you're doing, it could work great for you. It probably is a little bit easier on the consumer side. However, I do have a few clients that are using the services page, and I think it's also very broad for them as well. So, I think that if you could list out a little bit about what you did underneath each category, it might be a little bit better. But again, I think that this is probably a no-win category as far as LinkedIn goes, and they've done their best that they can do. All right, so in 2 weeks, I received a little over 24 requests for proposals, and those proposals went anywhere from public speaking to executive coaching, so one-on-one executive coaching, corporate training, and I received a couple of rogue ones in there. So that's why I say it's a little bit over 24. I submitted 24 responses, and I'm going to get to that in just a little bit. I've acquired 3 new clients, so it definitely paid for the 1 month of subscription already, and I'm only 2 weeks in. And I have 1 potential referral to someone in my network, which is great also. So within 2 weeks, it has been a great way to keep my skills up. So that's always something that I'm constantly working on. So I liked that. And it covered my costs. So that was fantastic. That was probably the main goal. And I think that in 2 weeks to have something that brought in 24 opportunities for me to sharpen my skills, also love that as well. All right, let me talk a little bit to how we are reaching the gap of not putting out pricing right off the rip. There is an option to offer a phone consult if you've gone down this route and you are interested in putting in a proposal and including a phone consult. One of the things I will say about how LinkedIn is doing this is they don't require a lot of information for someone to request proposal. If any of you have lived in the RFQ world like I have in the past, or, those are typically very detail extensive. That is not what this is. So people can be very forthright, or they could be very, very vague. So we're using a template that says, hey, I'm acknowledging that you've given me X number of details. If you're interested, we should set up a time to talk, a link to how to get to other reviews that we have had in the past to kind of give us some street cred. And then we submit at that point if we believe that what they've given us is also a match for us. It is a little bit cumbersome to follow up, though, I will say. So that's something that we're working through. I think that this is probably very early on in the process and it needs some fine tuning. But again, if you look at the spectrum of all of the people and places that are represented on LinkedIn, this is probably a great way to really represent yourself as a potential vendor really well and go find work in a really great way. I can only imagine the things that get slapped into these proposals. So if you really want to do a nice job, you could probably do really great things, have a nice follow through when you don't hear from people, that type of thing. So as of right now, I'm going to tell you that I made money. This was a positive return on investment. It probably is worth my time. We are working in multiple countries. So it did add some international work to our portfolio, and I'm excited to see where it goes. All right, I promised I would do this again in 2 weeks, right when it is time to renew. So you'll hear from me again in 2 weeks. And don't forget, you can always take our LinkedIn class to improve your portfolio. And there's other LinkedIn services available through Oxygen to help maximize your ability to be seen, hack the algorithm, all kinds of stuff. And you can always hit us up in the comments to either have a conversation about that, go through coaching, all the things. So we'd be happy to have you in our community. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Take a little bit of time to breathe life in and go refer somebody. I'm sure they'd appreciate it.